Getting to know you, getting to know all about.
Hi guys, welcome to Lisa Loves. A little bit of a different one today. This is kind of a tag. Yes, well, it is a tag. It's not strictly a movie tag though. I am a big lover of tags. As anyone who knows me will know, I'm very new to the YouTube community. I started in January of this year. And I've got to know a few awesome people, really, really nice people. And this is just a tag with 10 random questions, just designed to have us find out a little bit more about each other. Obviously we know what movies we all like and that sort of thing, but it would be really cool to get to know that little bit extra about each of you. So if you're not loath to telling us that little bit extra, I'd really like you to do it. I'll give some names at the end, but as many people as want to do this, I would love to do this. It's just nice to get to know things about each other, guys. That's really what I'm trying to say. So I've just lifted 10 random questions. I've thought, right, I don't want to be asking people things that are too personal. A lot of people won't want to answer personal questions, so I've tried to keep the subject matter quite light. So 10 questions. Number 1. Tell us about the first movie. I bet you wondered what I was going to say there. Tell us about the first time. Tell us about the first movie you loved and how it shaped your love of movies. Right. For me, I don't really know where it... When I was 4, my dad took me to the cinema for the first time and I saw The Jungle Book. That was awesome. I'm not going to include or choose that because I was really young. The first movie that my family rented on VHS from the video store was Silver Bullet with Corey Haim. My dad is a massive Stephen King film fan, book fan, always has been. So I grew up watching Maximum Overdrive, Pet Sematary, Silver Bullet, all of those Stephen King horror movies and other ones by other people around the same time. And I got a real taste for horror, absolutely loved it. So I'd say I'd have to answer Silver Bullet. I do also remember the first time I saw Back to the Future. I was hooked. I absolutely adored that movie. It's probably the first movie that I watched multiple times, over and over and over. So I'll say Silver Bullet got me into horror in a big way, and Back to the Future just started the whole fangirl in me of specific movies. So number 2, tell us a little bit about music that you enjoy. Right, I know the answer to this for some people that I know that are subscribers, but a lot of other people I have absolutely no idea. I thought of this question after there's a new subscriber I know is a friend of other subscribers called, is it Horror Metal? Metal Horror? Yeah, that just prompted me to ask the question because I can see that he's a big Iron Maiden fan. I love my rock music. Alternative, goth, industrial. I'd say the love of real traditional classic rock has stayed with me over the years. I love stuff like the Eagles, those are country rock that comes from my parents. Hotel California is just one of the best songs in the world. Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd is my favourite song ever. In saying that, Pink Floyd aren't one of my favourite bands, so that's a bit unusual. Classic rock, I love AC/DC, I love Whitesnake. Queen are my favourite band, most people know that. But most kinds of rock I do really enjoy, so yeah, that's me. Number 3, thing people are most surprised to know about you. I've written these questions down and I've only got a really short limited time to do them, so I haven't actually thought of the answers. Right, I'm going to say 2 things. Due to my current physique, a lot of people are really, really surprised to know that I used to be quite athletic at school. I was a sprinter, 100, 200, 400 metres, sometimes 800, but I wasn't too keen on long distance. But I was the fastest person in our year, I always won. Got to go to like athletic heats in Northern Ireland and would have had the chance to go forward to apply to compete to represent Northern Ireland in sprinting, but my mother said no because I was 15, 16 and it was time for GCSEs and she thought that it would interfere with my studies. So yeah, I used to be quite athletic, and I've got quite a number of medals from school. So people are quite, you what? Thankfully I still have the medals for the naysayers. The other thing that, actually no, I will leave that second thing and answer that to the next question. Tell us a random fact about you. I was going to say for this one that I'm double joint in pretty much every area of my body, which is a curse. It's called joint hypermobility. So basically, growing up, I thought it was great because I used to be able to do things and people would be like, oh, that's disgusting. And you know what you're like as a teenager, you love freaking people out. But as you get older, it just, it's leading to loads of problems with my fibromyalgia and things. But yeah, I'm hyperbendy. That wasn't what I was going to say. The random fact I'm going to tell you is, it's a bit of a weird one. I used to manage a video store for quite a few years in Ireland, an Irish branch of Blockbuster, which I'm sure you all know what Blockbuster is. And I was victim of an armed robbery. There was a group of drug addicts at the time going around the town I'm from, and they were randomly hitting businesses that would be open late and would be in quite isolated areas. And I was absolutely, convinced that we were going to be hit, but no one would listen. We usually worked in twos, but in that particular branch all the staff were female, but for one male. And one night I came into work early, as I usually do, and the one male that was on staff went home early. And I went into the back and came out to bring out a video to a customer at the counter, to be met with a man in a balaclava going shh with a knife in his hand. And I still to this day cannot believe what I did. I laughed in his face because people used to laugh when I said, oh, this is going to come here. We're the perfect kind of place, perfect kind of store, mostly female staff. I thought it was my workmate that had just got off having a joke and thinking he was funny and just being really poor in his attempt at humour. It wasn't. It actually was an armed robbery, and I laughed in the guy's face. Horrible, horrible situation. There was another girl on with me who had to give him the money, and I was treated to a knife to my throat for 5 minutes, which was delightful, I have to say. But other people afterwards, because the other girl freaked out and was screaming and stuff, people said, oh, you were so brave. How did you not react? I was shitting my pants. I apologise for the language. I was so frightened that I completely and utterly shut down, and everything just went vroom, nothing. So to people outside it was, oh, she's not scared, she's not worried, she's not bothered, but there seems to be something in my psyche that when something happens that's absolutely horrible, I just completely shut down, and I did. And it's, when I think about it now, it's almost like it happened to someone else. It's quite yeah, it's not the best of memories, but yeah. And I will add, the company I was working for were more bothered about the fact that the person got away with £70 than they were about what had happened, because the other girl had to be sent home because she was in such a state, but I had to stay there and finish my shift after an armed robbery, which was fantastic. So yeah, nice. So number 5, top item on your bucket list. I've got so many items on my bucket list. Have I asked about place I would like to go? No, I haven't. Right, top item on my bucket list. I would really like to swim with manatee. I don't know if that's the top item on my bucket list. There's so many places I would like to go. I would love to go to New York. I am going to Florida next year, which I can't wait for. It will be my first time in America. I would love to go to Canada. I adore Germany. I went there with school. Would love to go back on my own. Austria I love. What's the top item on that bucket list? I'm going to have to say swimming with manatee. Something probably will come to me at a later date, but I will say that for now. I love manatee. To hell with the dolphins, give me a manatee any day. Sea cows, they are called, which would be really appropriate for me to swim with. I'd feel right at home beside a sea cow. Number 6, share a pet peeve with us. How long have you got? Right, I'm going to say... There are so many. I'm going to say disloyal people. or arrogant people. Lots of kinds of people. People that cannot be trusted, people that let you down, people that talk behind your back, or people that think they're better than you, people that talk down to you like you're stupid. I have had quite a lot of experience of both kinds of people. I do not appreciate either of them. I think sometimes people make the assumption that you're not very bright just because you're not very outward with it. I'm a bit ditzy with my memory because of the fibro. But I've actually had someone say to me, "Oh, I'm really surprised you went to that school. I made the assumption you were thick." So thanks very much. Honestly, thank you. Here's another random fact. I had a ex-partner that, in his desire to prove how much more intelligent than me he was, applied for us both to do a Mensa test. I don't know if you have Mensa in America. It's like this measure of intelligence, measure of IQ, intelligence quota. Some people say it means something, other people say it means nothing, whatever. I scored about 10 more than he did, and he was livid. Honestly, he never brought the subject up again, he never said anything in front of anyone else about it. But yeah, I don't like people assuming I'm stupid. I'm not the world's most intelligent, I'm not stupid. Number 7. Least favourite subject in school. Right, I can't ramble too long about this one. My favourite subject in school was German. I loved German. I loved my teacher, Mrs. Fraser, who was Scottish. Lovely woman, really fun, made the language really fun. My favourite thing in school was languages. I did French, German, then I did Spanish as an extra subject. I'm muddling my way through Japanese. I'm trying to teach myself at the moment. So yeah, languages above and beyond. Least favourite, geography. Purely because the geography that we were taught in school wasn't necessarily what I would like to have been taught. It was less to do with what's where in the world and more to do with, because I'm from quite a rural place, our geography was very much to do with the land and agriculture and sediment and rivers and river courses, and it just... And the teacher was terrible. My grade went from... I can't remember what it went from and to, but I went up by 2 grades just because they changed teacher from one year to the next, which to me is perfect proof of how poor the other teacher was. I've never failed an exam, don't get me wrong, but I was like scraping through with a C, and my grade just shot up when they changed my teacher because the old one was just terrifying and awful, and you couldn't say if you were unsure about something, or you were like, you would be made a fool of, you would be shown up in front of the class if you dared ask for anything to be explained. And because at school I blushed if someone looked at me. I was painfully shy. I'm still really, really shy. This is only something I can do because no one's there. But even the thought of people watching this makes me cringe. I try not to think about it. But yeah, geography, least favourite. Languages, my most favourite. Question 8. Right, this is a bit of a weird one. I tried to think of a way of asking what your favourite thing to eat in the world would be. So if you were on death row, not that any of us are going to be on death row. If you were on death row, what would you ask for your final meal and dessert? I hadn't even thought of what I'm going to answer to this. This is my preoccupation with food. For my dessert, it's easy. I can tell you that straight away. It would be Black Forest Gâteau with a scoop of really, really rich chocolate ice cream. Oh, yep. For my main, I really like Christmas dinner. I really like, the roast and the potatoes and the sprouts. Yes, I like the sprouts and the stuffing and all that stuff. But I love Chinese takeaway. Sweet and sour chicken with boiled rice. Oh my dear. What else? I could talk all day about food. It's not a good thing. I'm making myself hungry and I'm just after my tea. Yeah. Well, I'll say Chinese followed by Black Forest Gâteau. And 9. We've only got 2 left, folks. Advice you would give to your younger self. Right. There's so many pieces of advice I'd like to give to my younger self. I'd say believe in yourself. It will get better. when I went to school, and this is very true for a lot of people that I connect with now, at school I didn't fit in. I wasn't one of the like hyper nerdy geeky kids, and I wasn't very, very far from one of the popular kids. I wasn't one of the pretty girls. I didn't fit in any section. There were people I hung about with at school, of course, but I just never felt that I fit. And I was bullied a bit at primary school. I always would feel I wasn't good enough, that I was stupid, that I was ugly, you know, everything you can think of. But I think as you get older, you sort of realise that what other people perceive of you is not necessarily your worth. And when I was younger, that's very much how I felt. So I would say, believe in yourself, trust your gut. You know, I think I was quite well brought up, so I've got decent morals. I try to treat people well. So I'd say, yeah, trust yourself more and believe in yourself more. Not that I think I would if I went back. It'd probably just be the same insecure mess that I was then. And finally, any upcoming event or holiday that you're really looking forward to? Right, everyone knows what mine is. I am going to Disneyland next year. Disney World, sorry, in Orlando. It will be the first time our family have been to the US. I cannot wait. It's mainly doing it for Isaac, of course, because Galaxy's Edge, the new Star Wars land's opening. Hopefully by that stage it's on schedule to open. As a kid, and I'm sure we all identify with this, everyone that doesn't live in America, we all wanted to go to Disneyland as kids. It was a dream for all of us, the thought that we could go to Disney World. I keep saying Disneyland. But it was outside of our families. It was never going to happen. I come from an era where parents didn't really like fit their holiday or loves or likes around what the child wanted. You just went along with what you were told. It was as simple as that. I think things changed a bit nowadays where people try to consciously pick holidays that they think the child will enjoy. And because it was a big dream of mine as a child, and I know Darren really wanted to go also, and his family, same as mine, it just wasn't something you got. You know, holidays for us. I know Darren's family would go to Wales in a caravan for a week. They lived in England, so just down the road. And for our family, it was to the south of Ireland for a week in like a little chalet or something. We never went on foreign holidays. The first time I left Ireland was with school to go to Paris, and then the following year to go to Austria. I was really, really lucky for that. And then after that, going to Prague a few times. But other than that, I haven't really been anywhere. So I cannot wait. I don't like flying though. That's not going to be good. The length of flight, I didn't used to mind flying whatsoever. I went on one really bad flight, really, really turbulent flight. That had to we were almost down and he had to go back up again because it was too dangerous to land, and that was absolutely terrifying, and I've been just really frightened ever since. I know it's ridiculous. I know that you're in much more risk driving your car every day than you ever are in the air, but my brain won't. I try to tell myself when I'm in the air, oh well, if you crash you're dead anyway. You're not going to feel it. It's like, oh, what sort of thought is that for me to be having? I'm terrified of flying, and I'm going to Orlando. I dread to think. Yeah, so I hope you... I'm not going to say I hope you enjoyed my waffle, because I'm sure you were thinking, what's going on with this woman? She's waffling. But yeah, I like to waffle. I like to find out about people. I like to get to know people that I'm starting to consider friends. So I'd love for as many people as are comfortable doing the tag would do it. Should I tag anyone? I'll tag a few people, but I would like to see more people do it. I just don't want to put people on the spot. Should I tag? I will. I'll tag Chris and Victoria from Two Vloggers More, although I probably know most of the answers for Chris, but I won't know all of the answers for Victoria, so I will tag Chris and Victoria. I will tag Sarah from Pixie Dust. Who else will I tag? I will tag Neil from My Japanese Lifestyle UK. I'm hoping I've got that name right. I'm just going to read some people off this horror list as well that's sat in front of me. Jason from Horrific Nightmares, Joe the Horror Man, Sean Ershin, Nick the Last Shoegazer, me see, Lamont, the Horror Miser Monty G, Ross from Random Horror. I don't want to read down too many of those because I'm just say that cow's a bit nosy, isn't she? But yeah, I'm gonna leave it with those people, and if you want to do it, I'd love to see your answers. If you don't want to do it, by no means feel obliged, because it's just my little thing of liking to get to know people. So, with that being done and that being said, and I'm dying to say, and now it's time to pay the price. Disney lovers will know what I mean there. So, it's over and out from Lisa Loves.
Getting to know